Hello, and today we're going to be taking a look at Agincourt. Agincourt has many Chinese places and lots of urban sprawl. The first topic I'm going to talk about is what the land is used for. Then, I'm going to talk about things that might affect you in your day-to-day life. After, I'll talk about topics related to money. After that, I'm going to talk about some final topics. Finally, I'll wrap it up with one last topic. For recreation and sports, on Google Maps, I searched up how many parks, playgrounds, skating rinks, and swimming pools there were in both Agincourt and the city of Toronto. Here's a table. Agincourt has more places per kilometer squared, so it's better for recreation since you don't have to walk as far to have fun. Here's a land use map for Agincourt and Toronto. Comparing these two land use maps, we can see that the city of Toronto has more green space, so Toronto gets rid of more carbon dioxide than Agincourt. Looking at the methods people in the city of Toronto and Agincourt use to get to work shows us that Agincourt likes using their own vehicles. However, in the city of Toronto, we can see that many people like to use public transit or walk. So the city of Toronto both gets rid of more carbon dioxide and produces less carbon dioxide. I did a search on Google Maps for museums, theaters, and churches. After calculating the amount of places per kilometer squared, I found out that the city of Toronto has more places per kilometer squared. So you can get to an artsy or cultural place with less walking. Again, doing a search on Google Maps helped me find the information. After using my calculator, I found out that Agincourt has more places per kilometer squared, so more places and less walking time. Here's some information. As you can see, Agincourt has more crimes per 1,000 people compared to Toronto. This means that it is more dangerous in Agincourt. Here's some info. Agincourt has a higher percentage of people that either have a high school diploma or no education. However, this could be because of the high percentage of immigrants coming to Agincourt. Since many of these immigrants are sponsored by their families or refugees, they might not have a very high education level. This is because they are not subject to the immigrant point system, so they don't need a high education to get into Canada. However, in Toronto, they have a lot of people who have a post-secondary education. Using this Agincourt to Finch route and this Union Station route, we can calculate how fast the buses are moving in order to compare public transit. The average speed of public transit is faster in Agincourt. However, since I only compared one route for each area, I don't have enough data to prove that Agincourt's public transit is faster. At the very least, Agincourt's public transit is on par with the Toronto Census Metropolitan Area's public transit. We can also see that more people use public transit to get to work in the Toronto Census Metropolitan Area. This is because cars don't move as fast in the Toronto Census Metropolitan Area. Here's some info. As you can see, Toronto has more employed people who earn more than people in Agincourt. However, Agincourt has less people spending 30% or more on housing than Toronto. This might be because family-sponsored immigrants don't have to pay for housing, so they help bring down the percentage of people spending 30% or more on housing. Here's some info. Housing is more expensive in Agincourt than in the Toronto Census Metropolitan Area. This is an issue because people in Agincourt make less money. However, there are less people spending 30% or more on housing in Agincourt, which makes Agincourt more affordable if you can get enough money to buy a house. Here's some info. We can see that Agincourt makes less money than the Toronto Census Metropolitan Area. Using the information in the table, we can construct a line graph to compare income inequality. The red line is the line of income equality. The more the cumulative income curve slopes downwards, the more income inequality there is. The yellow line represents Agincourt, and the blue line is the Toronto Census Metropolitan Area. The more space in between the red line and the other line represents the amount of income inequality. Some facts about Agincourt are, more than 60% of people in Agincourt are immigrants. Agincourt is named after a post office in the mid-1800s. 20% of people speak Cantonese in Agincourt. The Agincourt Recreation Center was set ablaze on January 31st, 2019. And Midland Avenue and Shepherd Avenue East were the main roads to use in the 1860s. So, is Agincourt livable? Agincourt is a livable neighborhood. There's not a huge gap between the rich and the poor, and there's a supermarket to buy fresh food from. The public transit isn't too bad, and there are many things to do when you want to have fun. Is the land used to its maximum potential? No, the land is not used to its maximum potential. There's a lot of urban sprawl in the neighborhood. I would change the single detached houses into apartments, since they fit more people into the same amount of space. So, should you move to Agincourt? I would recommend moving to Agincourt if you speak Cantonese and like Chinese products. Many people there are Chinese, so there's going to be a lot of Chinese products there. The only real downside is that there's more crime, and you'll have to commute a long time to get to work, since the area has a lot of urban sprawl. Anyways, thanks for listening to my presentation, and bye.